So I know what the big elephant in the room is, okay, but I'm not going to talk about it as of now, because right now I just want to talk about, the positives, the good things about the Switch 2, despite the big problem being, really big. But let's just get into it later, okay? We're gonna be going through chronological order as of right now, okay? Then we'll talk about it. So, the Switch 2 Direct presentation thingy happened, and I really liked it, okay? I'm not gonna lie, I thought that it was absolutely amazing. The Switch, I love my Switch, right? But this just completely gets rid of every single problem that I had with the original design. And that's really all that matters to me. Like, I wasn't expecting anything crazy. Just a Switch that's more powerful and then some. And that's basically what I got, if not even more. So let's talk about the specs. Now, I'm not a huge specs guy. I genuinely don't care. As long as the frame rate is really good, 60 frames per second, that's all that matters to me. But the fact that you can get 4K 120 FPS on a big screen is insane. Well, not all games can do that, but not most of them. But there is a chance that your game can be 120 FPS alongside a 1080 4K resolution, things like that. The fact that there is a chance is huge and really important to me. The 4K aspect, I don't care, as long as it's 1080p, 60 FPS, or even 120 FPS. That's really all that matters to me. Maybe to other people, I'm not exactly sure. Like, the casuals can be all over the place sometimes, but it just reminds me of the PS5 Pro presentation when they were saying, hey, you guys want more FPS, right? You guys don't really care about that 4K. I get it. So we're gonna fix that, with our new console. And that's like technically the main driving point as to why you would want a Pro. And well, that's why I want to Switch too. Not only does it have a slick design that I really like over the original Switch, not that the old Switch is bad, but it just feels more professional and futuristic as well compared to. It doesn't have as much of a toy vibe compared to the Wii U, but it was kind of close. Just looking back on it and seeing the Switch 2 kind of gives it. And I know that for some people, like, probably the biggest downgrade that they showed off was the LCD panel on the console itself. And well, again, it's a personal preference kind of thing. I don't care. I legitimately don't care, because I'm going to be playing this on an OLED TV, and that's what matters to me. I'm not going to be on just playing this. I mainly game on my TV. That's just how I go, okay? That's just how it goes. And so the dock now has a fan, and it feels like it actually does a lot more than just connect to your Switch, project the screen on the TV, boom. It feels like it does a little more than that, which is good, finally, because that was my biggest problem. Like I said earlier, I don't really use my Switch in portable mode. I don't really care about that all too much. Like, sure, it's a nice little feature, but I want to game at home, because it just feels like I can just take everything off, just focus on the game. We're not in the middle of nowhere, so we just vibe, that's how it goes. So it has 2 USB ports, which are still 2.0. That's actually kind of crazy. I thought it would be a little bit more, but whatever, man. What can you do? As long as it's enough for its accessories, that's all that matters, I guess. It's just like when I'm talking about the display and all that, as long as it does 60 FPS and, the game looks somewhat good and has a good art style, it's all that matters. Look at fucking Persona 5. It's one of my favorite games of all time. Doesn't look all that great. And yet I just like it that much because it has a good art style, it runs well, and nothing took me out of the experience in terms of the game's performance. Oh, and obviously, the big thing about the Joy-Cons now, they work as a mouse. This is so fucking smart, and it gives access to so many different things. I don't think it's going to be that bad in terms of just programming for it. I don't think it's going to be that hard for devs to do it. And like, sure, you need to just, get like a mouse mat or something like that. It reminds me of my old setup. Back then, I used to have like an armchair and then this small table that I could just rotate. And that was my gaming setup in terms of PC. I'm gonna try and put a picture of the chair on screen. Hopefully you can see the vision. And that's that's basically how you're gonna play your games. I mean, it was doable back then. That's gonna be awesome, actually. That's gonna bring back some good times. But yeah, the mouse mode will give so many new options. The thing I was really looking forward to when it came to the Switch 2 announcements was a new Kid Icarus Uprising. It didn't happen. I'm legitimately super fucking sad, bro. Because Kid Icarus Uprising is my favorite game of the 3DS. Like, sure, some people will talk about how, you know, uncomfortable it is to hold the stylus while playing. But man, I don't care. It was so fun. The gameplay was so good. The story was great. The dialogue, everything, the music. Oh my god. It was peak. Like, literal definition of peak and using the whole hardware's things to its advantage. This is what Uprising managed to do. And for the Switch, I feel like we still had yet to see that. Like Mario Odyssey, technically, but not really. I mean, there wasn't anything huge for the Switch that they could have done. But now that we have a mouse, we can do so much and show off so many new things. And I'll get into the game that they showed off specifically to show the mouse features in a little bit. Then they showed off the game chat, the chat features, which are cool. Kind of wish there was a bit of a Discord implementation, but I mean, I guess it's better than nothing. The camera is pretty cute. I mean, I'm probably not gonna use it all that much, but I do want it because it's kind of funny. And the last accessory I'll talk about is the Switch 2 Pro controller. I don't know how I feel about it. Somehow, weirdly enough, it just feels more toy. Like, it just screams toy compared to the previous one. I guess it's the fact that it's more round. For some reason, it just gives it a toy kind of look. I don't really like it compared to the original design in terms of, you know, design, the way it looks. But it's basically the Switch 1 controller, but with a 2 on it. And now it has white triggers. And that's basically it. I'm still gonna get it. It looks pretty comfy to hold. Although I will say I don't like the position of the C button. I wished it was somewhere else. Probably in the white area under the port, like the controller port. And I just realized they moved the player lights, you know, to say like which player is which, right? They moved it and they put it on the front. I mean, I know it's not that big of a deal, but it's kind of cool to know which player you are, you know, whenever you're holding it. You just kind of look down. You don't even have to look down sometimes or just tilt it. You just see it right there. I'm very nitpicky. That's just how I am. But yeah, the C button, it could have been on the white part under the USB port. Maybe. I think that would have made more sense. Because it's not a feature that you really want to use all the time. And I mean, just having it under the right stick. Imagine you just slip and then whoop, and then it just brings you to another screen while you're fighting Radon in Elden Ring or something. Like, imagine that. I would be more so pissed at Nintendo than anything. But yeah, that's the Pro Controller. It doesn't look all that different. I do like the colors, the shape not so much, but it does look comfortable. Looking at it some more, it seems as though the buttons are just ever so slightly condensed on the vertical axis. Like the X and B button are closer to one another compared to the Y and A button. So that's kind of weird, but maybe it helps. Kind of like the Gamecube controller where everything was just on top of one another. And talking about the Gamecube controller, great segue, I know. The Gamecube emulation. Actually, it's not the emulation, it's a fucking, but basically just the way to get access to GameCube games running on the Switch 2 is gonna be happening. Holy moly. You have no idea how awesome this is. And like, you might be wondering, actually, I mean, the GameCube didn't have too many games. It had the best games, okay? I'm just gonna put it like this. The GameCube has some of the best Nintendo games ever, okay? And I'm not trying to be like, silly or anything, just make a joke. I'm serious. The Wind Waker, right? I think it's my favorite Zelda game of all time. Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, amazing game, beautiful. It's as close as you can get to no flaws. I would say it's a more flawless game than Persona 5 Royal. That's how crazy it is. Because Persona 5 Royal, you get the whole like 5th Palace arc, and that shit sucks ass. Meanwhile, in Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, yeah, the pause was kind of voluntary. The only downside is that there is a bit of backtracking, just in some areas, but it's not even that big of a deal. Specifically in Chapter 4 and Chapter 8, but if you have the pipes, that makes it a lot easier for you. So there you go. Was it Chapter 8? The one with the ball bombs? I forgot. Whichever one. You had Wario World, which, I mean, it's a really short game, but in terms of the gameplay, ooh, Wario World is so good. Mario Sunshine might be divisive. I know that some people don't like it, but it's a really good Mario 3D game. I don't think there's like a single bad Mario 3D game, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah, no, I don't see one. Luigi's Mansion. Still the best atmosphere of any Luigi's Mansion games. Sue me, I don't care. I'm just spitting out the truth, okay? I think that Luigi's Mansion 1, in terms of its atmosphere compared to 2 and 3, leagues better. Because, like, it doesn't have this cartoony aesthetic. It's not like, oh, it's a horror game, but, like, a little bit of comedy sprinkled in. No, it's a wacky horror game. It's not a comedic horror game. Wacky means as in, like, strange, weird, compared to comedic, where it's, like, supposed to be for the fun and laughs, and it's funny. This is what Luigi's Mansion 2 and 3 kind of lean towards, and I don't like it. It kind of just takes me out of the whole Luigi's Mansion atmosphere that the first one built. And that's why I still consider it to be one of my favorite Luigi Mansion games of all time. I'm not saying that the other ones are bad. I do like the atmosphere of the first one, and that's what just makes it so good. 2 and 3 are really good games, and 3 has definitely the best gameplay, but still prefer the first one. There we go. I'm done with that part. Anyways. Oh, well, they showed off Mario Strikers, Pokemon XD Gales of Darkness, Pokemon Colosseum, I think? Fire Emblem Path of Radiance doesn't need to cost $400 for the game itself. You can get the console with that. And I know we need to talk about the prices. Okay, I know. But you get a console, you get a subscription that's $50, and then you get access to Path of Radiance, which is a really good game. So yeah, the GameCube, sure, it's probably one of the worst selling Nintendo consoles. It's like in the bottom, whatever the fuck. But honestly, it's super underrated in the sales aspect, If we're comparing the ratings to the sales, this is definitely underrated as hell. And I mean, Super Smash Bros. Melee, do I even need to talk about it? Personally, hot take. Personally, my least favorite Smash Bros. Of all time, even though Wii U is objectively worse now compared since we have Ultimate. There are some great things that I liked about Melee, despite the gameplay aspect. The gameplay is my least favorite one in the series by far. I know it sounds weird when 64 exists, but it's very unresponsive for me, so. But yeah, I'm not an esports player, I'm not a Hungry Box or Mewtwo King, and I don't like Leffen, you know how it goes. I'm just saying, hey, he deserves his hatred. But anyways, and a few of the other games that I forgot to talk about, Chibi Robo's coming, as well as Soul Calibur 2, the one that features Link. That's awesome. And talking about Soul Calibur, if they were to make a Soul Calibur 7 and there would be like a guest for the Nintendo console, right? Ike, Marth, someone from Fire Emblem, probably Shulk from Xenoblade, I know that the Smash folks would not be happy, but I legitimately could not care less. Or maybe Kid Icarus, I don't know. So we talked about the GameCube, now let's talk about the third party, and then we'll get into the first party things, the juicy area, So, first things first, Elden Ring. I called it. I was like, if they have to get one big third party game, Elden Ring is the one. It's the game that they had to put on that console to just show how huge and like how big the potential is. Because back then for the Switch, it was Skyrim. And then I was like, Skyrim is cool and all, but Elden Ring is so much better in every single aspect of that game. So fuck that. Put Elden Ring to show the true power of that console and yeah. I think it just makes a ton of sense. And well, in all technicality, you could say, oh, put in GTA 5 or GTA 6. Well, for me, as a Nintendo fan, I personally don't care. That's what the casuals eat up. Sorry if I put you in that category, But let's be honest, it is. All right? It's just how it is. And sure, you could show like the true power of the Switch 2 with GTA 6, GTA 5. I think people are kind of tired of GTA 5 though. Sorry about that. And it's totally understandable, but I think it could work for some Nintendo fans. The ones who are just like, I've always wanted to try a GTA game. We've never had it on a Nintendo console before. Well, I might be getting the things wrong. Maybe the remasters we got recently that are terrible were on Switch. But anyways, what else did they show off? Outside of Elden Ring, I don't really remember too much. Aside from Street Fighter 6, they showed Silk Song after, I would dare say, 4 years. Deltarune is pretty cool. Again, these are games that I don't really care about myself. I'm mainly in here for the first party. And well, I will care about Capcom, Bandai, Atlus, and Sega. I will be there for this. Which, by the way, why didn't we get Persona 3 Reload? That's a good question, Crouton. Did I just praise myself? I did. Anyways, but yeah, Persona 3 Reload would have been perfect to show off. And I don't think it would be that hard to transfer over to the Switch. I'm mainly saying this because I'm an Atlus fan, but it's pretty huge, especially with Smash. You gotta give it a little bit of credit. Come on, man. I will never understand as to why Atlus never put Persona 5 Royal alongside Joker just coming out to Smash. But that's a story for a whole other day. Another thing that they shown off was Bravely Default coming to the Switch, which is pretty cool. That's really all I can say about it. Now it's not stuck on the 3DS anymore, and that's pretty cool. They showed off a teaser for a new GoldenEye game, which is nice. It brings back the Nintendo 64 nostalgia. Yakuza 0 is getting a Director's Cut edition, I believe, which is insane. And it seems as though there's like a co-op mode or something. I'm really eager to find out more about it. And so I think that's really all that mattered in terms of Switch third parties. Outside of course, the Rust Bloods. I forgot the name. Dusk Bloods. That's what it was called. So the Dusk Bloods are a FromSoft game that looks a lot like Bloodborne. I even called it. If you look at my reaction, I was just like, is this Bloodborne? And then, it basically is. This is basically Bloodborne 2, but they couldn't do it on the PS5 because PlayStation is fucking stupid. And they were just like, okay, if PlayStation doesn't want to do it, Nintendo will. And guess what? They did. There we go. Only available on Nintendo Switch 2. Insane. Great. You love to see it. This is what PlayStation needs. More exclusives. But they just don't want to do it because they're too stupid and they just care about graphics instead of art style. So therefore it has to take longer to develop and you get a game every year or two. And that's fucking cringe. But I digress. I'm not here to shit on PlayStation. And guys, I like PlayStation. Not as much as Nintendo probably, but I like them quite a lot. It's just really sad to see them just struggle that much. But yeah, the Dusk Bloods, I think it was called. It looks great. It seems to run well. The character design just feels straight out of, Elden Ring, Bloodborne, all that sort of stuff. It's the classic Miyazaki style. There we go. That was his name. Wrong Miyazaki. But yeah, it looks great. It looks fun. I will definitely buy it. And I just hope that it runs well and is great. That's all I can say about it. What else do you want me to say about a Souls-like? And so this finally wraps up all of the third-party games that I can think of and I care about. Now let's get into the first party side of things. So, let's talk about the least important one, in my opinion, Dragon Drive. To me, this one just looks like a demo. And, I mean, compared to ARMS, it looks more fun, but at the same time, I'm kind of scared. So basically, you're in a wheelchair and you're supposed to put balls in a basket, basketball wheelchair, basically. I mean, it looks fine, but to me, it just feels really slow. From the looks of it, you have to push the wheelchair around and then come to a complete stop, and then you can pass the ball. That looks very slow to me, but we'll see how it looks. I'm still gonna get it just for the sake of Nintendo memorabilia, but I'm not holding my breath on it just being the best sports game on Switch 2, or one of them for that matter. It just looks like a demo, and that's about it. And since this looks like an ARMS kind of deal, I feel like this should be priced at $30 or less. I know that nowadays, I mean, you know, price is a thing we gotta talk about later, but I feel like this one, it has to be $20, $30 max, and it's gonna be a digital only game. That's how it should be. Just like Good Job, The Stretchers, I think that's the game that Nintendo made. I feel like it should be that kind of game. The next game, well, game if you want to talk about it like that, is called Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. I think that it's going to be available for $8, which is not that bad of a price to pay. I mean, it's the tech demo game, basically. And, well, I'm still gonna get it because, I mean, it looks alright. I want to see what my Switch can do. I mean, I don't know. Not that outrageous of a price. Kind of wish that it was included, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers, I guess. I don't think that's how you're supposed to use that sense. It's basically Astrobot, but, you know, you have to pay for it, and it doesn't look as charming. That's it. Now we get into the meat of it, the meats, you know, that sort of thing. I hope that didn't sound too weird. I'm sorry. But let's start off with the enhanced versions of games, such as Mario Party, Jamboree, Star TV, Switch 2 Edition, and I thought that Kingdom Hearts had horrible names. Super Mario Party Jamboree... I actually bit my tongue. Super Mario Party Jamboree Nintendo Switch 2 Edition plus Jamboree TV. It's basically Mario Party Jamboree, but with more to it, and even new mechanics, such as using the mouse and even the camera accessory. Awesome! I mean, it looks silly fun. I will try it out. That's about it. Next, what they showed off was Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild being enhanced. And oh my goodness, that's 60 frames per second. Oh my god. It's super smooth. Even the Korok Forest isn't like fucking chugging. They fixed everything. Mwah, mwah. I will most definitely play Breath of the Wild all over again, just so that way I can experience it in 60 FPS. Well, actually, okay. Maybe not Breath of the Wild, but Tears of the Kingdom. Definitely. Because I felt nothing while playing Tears of the Kingdom. So I'm going to give it another chance. And on top of that, I'm going to have a better time, you know, just looking at everything in 60 FPS or maybe 120. Who knows? The next thing that they showed off was Kirby. And that one, I'm going to play it start to finish. Probably just like Star Allies, they might just raise up the FPS to 60. And just like Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door. But I'm getting sidetracked right now. So Kirby and the Forgotten Land is going to be 60 FPS. And on top of that, they're adding more to it. And thank goodness, thank you for more content. Oh my god. I'm doing some kid gestures right now. You can't see it. But I am super hyped because Forgotten Land is probably my second favorite Kirby game of all time. My first one was Return to Dreamland on the Wii. And I mean, I'm gonna get to play more Forgotten Land. Hopefully, they can make it more peak and have more transformations. That's like my biggest issue with the game. There's not that many transformations. There's like, I don't know, 10, 12 at most. And that's just what hurt it the most for me. And so here, not only are we getting new content, or what appears to be new content, we're also getting new mouthful modes. I don't remember that trampoline one being in the original game. So maybe 1 or 2 more alongside 5 more transformations? That would be really cool. Oh, and another thing that they showed off was Pokemon Legends ZA. I mean, I'm pretty happy that ZA is finally looking good. I mean, it's still not as great compared to a Xenoblade game or Breath of the Wild in terms of the details, but at least it's running at 60 FPS, and honestly, that's what really matters. And so the last 4 big games that we got to talk about, I guess I'll talk about it in chronological order. So, Mario Kart Tour, World, fuck. God damn it. Yeah, no, the mobile game is trash. We're talking about World. So Mario Kart World, I was wondering how they were going to make Mario Kart feel, you know, even more unique. And well, they fucking did it. I am baffled. I thought we were gonna get just like one new gimmick and that was about it. I was thinking to myself, they were trying to do something with digging, and I thought about it kind of like how the wisps work in Sonic Colors, where you go into a 2D section and then it goes up and down, you know, and it just transforms into 2D. I thought it was gonna be that. We did not get that at all. We got boats, we got grinding, we got wall riding on the sides. This is insane. And on top of that, it's open world. What? Oh my god, that looks beautiful. I'm sorry. I just changed like the resolution from 1080p to 4K, and now I mean, oh my god, those frame rates so fucking good looking. Anyways, and on top of that, there's more. There's like new items. Kamek seems to be a new item, which is cringe because after so long, we needed Kamek as a fucking playable character, and then they're just like, nope, that's an item. Goodbye. I hope that he's playable as a racer. Like, come on, you can't have the fucking Buzzy Beetle or whatever that shit is called over Kamek. What are you thinking? Like, what the fuck? Or a dolphin, or the cow from Moo Moo Meadows. Like, what are you doing, Nintendo? You can't do that to Kamek. That's fucked up. Even the fucking penguin, bro. Oh my god, that would piss me off if Kamek is actually taken out. Anyways, the game looks beautiful. You go from one race to another, like, freely with no loading screens. This is insane. This is the craziest Mario Kart upgrade I have ever seen since probably Double Dash. Yeah, I'm gonna go as far as to say Double Dash. And like, I love Mario Kart 8. It's great. I love the details, all the love that they put into it. But this is on a whole other level. And I was not expecting that. They got fucking boats. Boats! You can now change your costume mid-race for, well, what I believe is going to be a way to have special items. Just like how in Tour, you know, you could have like multiple characters with different costumes. And then it would give you access to a different item, such as a mushroom cannon, a coin block, things like that. I think that's what's gonna happen. And I mean, the game looks fucking beautiful. Like, what in the actual fuck? There's even another new mechanic where I saw Birdo going inside of a truck and then riding it. Like, what? There's 7 whole new mechanics. You can do multiple tricks in the air now. Or so it seems. I saw Peach doing it multiple times. This is insane. And again, I know that you want me to talk about the price tag, but that's for later. God. But I'm still gonna fucking get it. That's for later. But yeah, absolutely exceeded my expectations. I was wondering where we were gonna go with Mario Kart. And well, Nintendo just basically said that's where we're going. There you go. The next game that they showed off was a Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, not a prequel, okay? A lot of people just think, oh, it's a prequel. In all technicality, I guess, but basically the way that it goes is that you go inside of the past, starting from the present, so therefore it's not really a prequel. But anyways, I'm gonna get my nerd voice out of the way. The game looks fucking phenomenal. As soon as they showed up Zelda just walking behind Roru and all that, I was stunned. It looked so pretty. And like, sure, there seems to be some frame drops here and there, but it doesn't seem to be as awful as, let's say, Age of Calamity, because this one is called Age of Imprisonment. Stupid. Anyways, the game looks great. And I was one of the people who didn't like Tears of the Kingdom. Well, you know, compared to Breath of the Wild, let's say. And so this time around, we get more lore. And that's probably, and I'm hoping that it's going to fix the original story of Tears of the Kingdom, because it just felt like a nothing burger. And I'm sorry, man. I'm just gonna have to drop the big truth, okay? They fucked up Ganondorf. I'm gonna put it the way that it's gonna be. I don't like the way that they did Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom. Not in terms of design, although I wish there was a little more to it. I don't like it. I think it's kind of lazy in certain aspects, because we basically took Ocarina of Time's Ganondorf and just made it more awkwardly shaped, and there you go. That's it. That's Ganondorf. But anyways, I'm talking about him as a character. And I know that Zelda games aren't like the craziest in terms of lore or story and all that, but you can have good Ganondorfs, like in Ocarina of Time, Twilight Princess, Wind Waker, the GOAT, the best one. You can have some really good Ganondorfs. Here, in Tears of the Kingdom, it's like, yeah, I'm a bad guy because I'm a bad guy. And that's about it. That's as far as it went for Ganondorf in Tears of the Kingdom. Maybe it was just like, oh, we're tired of living in the desert, but I never got that feeling. And so that's why I'm just like, yeah, pretty bad. Bad Ganondorf. So hopefully, thanks to that, they can fix Ganondorf. They can fix the story, make it more interesting, not feel like a copy and paste of Breath of the Wild, because that's just how it felt. Everything just felt like it was Breath of the Wild 2, but it's not Breath of the Wild 2 in all actuality, which is so stupid. Oh my god, I hate Tears of the Kingdom so much, and what it did to Breath of the Wild mainly. That's the reason why I hate it so much. Anyways, moving on. I'm excited for Age of Imprisonment, is what it's called. And the second to last game that they showed off was Kirby Air Riders. So, we didn't get anything. It's just like, yeah, we're working on it. That's about it. It's just a teaser. Now, what I'm wondering, and I gotta say, I hate Sakurai. Or not Sakurai, but like the animation studio behind that trailer. It looked like a Smash game. I thought it was gonna be Smash, but then it just kind of zoomed in on the star, and I was like, that's a weird place to zoom in. And then boom, it's like Kirby Air Riders. Fuck you. Yeah, I didn't like that. Please make it its own unique style next time. All right, so that way I don't get false hopes. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see how Air Riders is gonna come out, because Mario Kart is gonna be there. And as much as people love Kirby, it's probably not going to beat Mario Kart. It's all I'm gonna say. Okay, the release date is in 2025, directed by none other than the GOAT, Masahiro Sakurai. Fuck me. I said soccer guy. I can't get the meme out of my head. I'm sorry. Masahiro Sakurai, awesome. It's great to see him actually work on his boy once again. You love to see it. And again, like I said, they didn't really show anything. I'm sure it's gonna be fun. I'm most definitely gonna get it. So, pretty hype. But then the big heavy hitter came out, okay? Maybe not for everyone. It's probably not in Mario or whatever, what you expected. But a new 3D Donkey Kong. And that got me hyped. Now, personally, I kind of wished that it was a collectathon. Just like good old DK64, which people will say is pretty bad because of the whole 100% completion thingy. I get it, okay? I get that. But at the same time, you can't deny that it was really fun. You know, if you were playing it as a kid, not trying to beat everything, you just wanted to mess around all over the place as Donkey Kong. And well, I'm just going to say it the way I am seeing it. This game is going to be so much better than what Mario Odyssey is. I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Personally, I didn't like Mario Odyssey all that much. I'm not gonna say it's a bad game. I saw it. I saw the thing that made the game good, but I wasn't feeling anything, really. I guess I'm just all Mario 3D'd out. I did kind of like the Bowser's Fury part. Anyways, that's not my point. This Donkey Kong game looks fucking insane. Not only in terms of its style, but the way it's fluid, the way you can just basically do anything with the environment. You can destroy it, dig. Like, it's basically... I hate to say it like that. It's basically the Breath of the Wild of Mario. Like, the Breath of... Well, the Tears of the Kingdom of Mario Odyssey. And it looks so fun. Like, just going around just being... monkey. You know? It's gonna be super fun. There are so many mechanics that you can see. Oh my god. It looks so fucking good. I legitimately think that it's gonna be way more fun than Mario Odyssey. And sure, there are some things that bother me, specifically Donkey Kong's pants. I don't like the fact that he has pants. I hope that there's a way to just go back to the good old DK. I saw him in that cutscene, actually. I don't like the fur all that well, either. I don't know why, it just kind of feels all weird. But yeah, no, it looks great. It looks absolutely phenomenal. Donkey Kong is super expressive. Sure, the old design, I miss it. But damn, that new one is a lot more expressive, and I can kind of understand as to why they went for that one. But still, you can kind of see some of the old design here and there. For example, when he was scratching his head at the end of the trailer. You know, it looks cool. It looks cool. I know this is like a side tangent and it has nothing to do with the Switch 2, but can we talk about how bullshit that is? Like, it just stopped straight on the fucking steal a star thingy, and then it just gave a fucking sightseer bonus to Peach. Fucking rigged, dude. Oh my god. Fuck this game. But yeah, I cannot wait for that game. It looks phenomenal. I think it's gonna be the big boy Switch release. Now, will I say that this was completely perfect? No. But I think what's gonna happen is gonna be that they showed off these 4 games, right? Those big, heavy games. And then in June, we're gonna get even more. And I have no idea what's gonna be in store for us. I'm pretty sure that a new Mario or Zelda game is gonna be off the table. And if I were to predict, maybe a Star Fox game. I think a Star Fox game would work really well with the mouse controls. Obviously, Kid Icarus, I've said it multiple times, but it would be perfect. It's perfect for the mouse controls, but Sakurai is working on something else right now. But we'll have to see. We can just hope and pray. I think they could probably throw out maybe a new Pokemon game. Gen 10? Is it 10? A new Fire Emblem could happen? And with the mouse controls, that would be a lot easier to just go around, actually. And lastly, as much as I would hate to see it, a new Splatoon game. We'll have to check and see. Maybe a Splatoon expansion. That would make a lot more sense. And sure, we had the Octo expansion. No, not Octo expansion. Side Order. That's what it was called. Which, by the way, I played. I thought that it was good. It was just okay. I didn't feel anything crazy happened. But it's probably a setup for something bigger that they would put in a Splatoon 4 or an expansion pack, just like we got for Kirby and all that. I think that would be perfect. And on top of that, I mean, the mouse controls, they're just made for Splatoon, right? So there you go. Now, let's move on to the big elephant in the room. As of the recording of this episode, video, whatever, it's only been 2 days since they've talked about the Switch 2 and showed off the trailer. So we don't have a concrete price tag, but we seem to be pretty close to the $500 tag. Originally, it was going to be $450, which personally, and I think most people would agree, was reasonable. We were expecting 400, something along those lines, right? But with everything that they've shown off, the extra 50 on the price tag is completely justified. Now, the problems are the games. The games, well, not only are they going to be $70 for most of them, but some of them go as far as $80 for physical editions. And I do not like that one bit. Now, Jeff Keighley said, at first it was, $80 and then $90 for physical games and all that shit. I'm like, no way. I don't mind the extra 10 for the physical games. I understand that it's a lot to, do the costs and all that. But $90? $80 for fucking Mario Kart World Tour? Oh shit, I said tour instead. But $80 for Mario Kart World? Digitally. On top of that, that is not worth it. Again, I hope that Jeff just like mistyped the thing and then it just, got lost in translation somewhere. I don't mind paying $70. And I don't really mind myself, okay? I'm not rich, okay? But for me, what matters is food, electricity, a roof over my head, water, and games. That's really all I need, right? So I understand that there's more things that you want in your life, and that's gonna come at a huge cost. And not everyone's gonna have that luxury of just, getting a Switch 2 at launch. I don't want to come off as like Pokemon, okay? I don't want to just be like, if you're a broke boy, just say so. Like, no, I'm not like that, okay? We are all struggling. This economy sucks, okay? But for me, I have my priorities in life, and one of them is just getting a Switch 2 alongside a roof over my head and everything that I need in order to, go to the bathroom and take a shower and put some things in my tummy. That's all that matters for me to live a happy life. And it is outrageous, but I think that Nintendo will understand because this is not the first time that it's happening. During the 3DS era, the 3DS was way too expensive and then they dropped the price. So how did they make up for it? Free games. And I think that's great. That's a really good idea. So for me, I wouldn't necessarily say it's justified, but it's going to meet my needs of just being happy. And that's what matters most in life for me. Nintendo kind of dropped the ball on that one, but that's how life is, I guess. It's just low lows and, well, the highs can be there sometimes. I know it's not really what you guys wanted to hear. I know that you want me to be like super outraged and just talk shit about it, but I'm just gonna have to swallow the hard pill that is just, buying those things at a really high price. What else can I do? It's a really high price that I am willing to pay for a really good upgrade to the Switch. Like, I see so many positives. I just talked over an hour for this recording. The video is probably going to be way shorter than that, probably 30 minutes. Just talking about how great the Switch 2 is, because it actually is great. And greatness comes at a really high price, I guess. And again, I completely understand if you're outraged. I think that it is really expensive, but I'm gonna have to swallow my pride and buy it because I actually feel like it's worth the upgrade. After 8 years, 8 whole years of playing on the Switch, I just don't want to play on it anymore. I want to move on to something big. And this is the big that I'm talking about, the Switch 2. I do think that later down the line, give it a year or two maybe, they're going to drop the price. They have to. But this inflation, it's not just in America, it's everywhere. It's all over the fucking place. America is gonna get hit heavy. I'm not gonna get into the details because I don't know how things work in the political world or just, outside of that. I don't know what is the complete cause of this because people were just saying, it's politics. It's probably not just that. $450 for a price tag for the Switch 2, completely understandable. The games are quite outrageous. For me, I'm comparing what was the past, present, and what could be the future. It's just gonna get worse from here. I think there will probably be a time where games will cost $100. Maybe even over that. It is going to get worse because people are going to be so much more ambitious, thinking, oh my god, they have to blow it out the water for this next installment, right? So there's going to be more cost put into the game. GTA 6 is talked about, rumored, of being probably $100. I think there can be an explanation for that, but sometimes it's not completely right. I mean, GTA 5 has lasted over 10 years now? Well, I mean, people still play it and they still enjoy it. So I mean, the playtime, it only makes sense. It's a one-time investment for something that can last for so long. So for me, I completely understand, but I'm not gonna completely justify it and say that it's reasonable. There's a difference between reasonable and justified. It's justified that the games are gonna cost more and the price is gonna be high, but it's not reasonable for the consumers, especially in the time that they're in right now. Like, everything is super expensive right now. And that's how the cookie crumbles. Again, I know it's not what you wanted to hear. You wanted me to just be insanely mad and angry, but I'm gonna swallow that pill. The pill that is spending a ton of money for something that's gonna create joy. Or so I hope. I mean, just think about the fucking Disney parks. The prices are outrageous, right? For like a water, you need to pay $8 or something like that. Nah, fuck that. But at least you're having a good time, right? That's kind of the way I see it. Again, not reasonable, as horrible as that is. So these are my thoughts on the Switch 2. I am definitely going to get it at launch, despite the unreasonable price tags. What do you think about the Switch 2 and its price? I understand if you don't agree with my point of view, but please be respectful in the comments to just anyone, not just me, okay? But everyone, all right? And so with that, I'm gonna go. Y'all take care and subscribe.